What's up? Geoff and Eric here from All Seems Lost. You can find our new EP, Years Like Days, on March 7th. Come out to show at 89th Street, support all the locals. You can buy the download that day. So download it, come check it out, have a good time with everybody. Buy that. No, it's
So with this release, are you more proud of this release, and what have you done differently?
we're more prepared this time. I mean, the first time it was just like the first time a lot of us had really got into a studio to do any kind of recording. The second time around, we were more prepared. We knew things to look for, things to do, not to do. Before, we were on like a time crunch. We wanted it pushed out by a certain date, and we just wanted to push music, really. This time around, we basically just took our time. You know, this has been in the works for a year and a half now, and we were able to take our time. We were able to put more emotion to it and make sure it was done the way we wanted to. And even with mixing and mastering, we took way more time than we did the first time.
It's more or less what Geoff said, is like, this is a lot more of a mature thing out of us, because it was basically like a lot of us first time getting into a studio and actually recording something to put out as a release.
4 tracks: Tribulation, Years Like Days Part 1, Years Like Days Part 2, and In the Realm of Dreams.
Do you have a favorite one of those to play?
I think it's gonna vary on everybody. I like Tribulation because it's pretty heavy. It's something like we'd ever really done before. I did a lot of different drum stuff that I haven't done in the past, so to write that type of song it was fun. It was a new experience for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, guitar was on that song. It's a lot of stuff that is more chromatic in nature in some parts, and then it's just, like Geoff said, really heavy.
We have our different songs, you know, like we have the songs that you push mosh to, we have slow songs, and then we have just angry songs. And Tribulation was one of those songs that I wanted it to be angry. I just wanted it to be heavy, like the song to be a mosh pit song. Like everybody got in and did what they wanted to. You know, it was just a heavy song that we had to write.
Anyway, how long roughly did it take you to record this EP from start to finish?
Recording wise,
Beginning to end. When we first went into studio.
recording wise, oh dude, that was what, like 6-7 months, because it was hard trying to get everybody's schedules to line up. Geoff recorded the drums, and then
no, we tried recording drums.
Oh yeah,
at ACM.
Yeah, we tried recording drums at the college I was going to, but then Geoff separately went out to our friend Skylar.
Swing Studios.
Something.
We did it at his place, in his house.
Yeah.
Where we same place we recorded drums for the first album.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we just went back there and I did drums because time schedules just weren't working out and I was on my own. So I found somebody that was able to mesh with my time to where I could go in and knock the drums out. First album, I did all the drums in like 2.5 days, almost 3 days. This time around, I knocked all of it out in 2 days. So it's just easy to work with. We'd work together in the past. So this time around, you know, we knew how each other worked. So it meshed.
Everything else after that kind of, like, I took that on myself to record vocals, both the guitars, like trying to work with Steve, the other guitar player, to get things to work out there and mesh and to where we'd have time. And then our bass player, Zach, after that, got everything to where we wanted it.
There's a lot more effort that went into it this time around because we knew what we wanted and what we'd have to do to make it happen. The only downfall was everybody's timing. Everybody had certain things going on in life. Jordan had his first child. Me and the guitar player Steve, my brother, we lost our mom. Eric was going through college, and Zach
was getting ready to have back surgery.
Zach, yeah, our bass player, he had back surgery. So I mean, timing was just, you know, everybody's going through their own personal life stuff. So we were like, there was no rush. We didn't have to put anything out. We wanted to, but there was nothing saying, hey, we have to be done by this day. That's a good thing about being an independent artist, I guess, is.
Yeah, you know.
And it builds the hype too. Is like people have known who we are for years. Them knowing that we were recording, but not when it was coming out. It's like finding out your favorite band's about to release a new album, then you sit around for a year waiting, knowing it's happening, but what is it going to be? So it's cool for us to be able to do that this time.
Would you say you were in a much better mindset when you went to record this time?
Yes and no.
Yeah, it's more of a yes and no thing because some of us, I think we stayed in that same kind of mindset. Some of us did, but then at the same time, we were all in different parts of our life at that time. So our mindset was never a unison thing. Whenever it came to recording, we all just knew like, hey, we have to get this done at some point.
We all, yeah, we just had, it's kind of hard to explain it. Like, everybody was going through their own personal life and had their own motivation for doing the album while dealing with everything in their personal life. So this time around with losing my mom, I was able to put my hurt and everything into my music. So, if it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't be where I am as a musician. She helped me buy my beginning drums and, just always pushed me, really. And for her, at the time, I wanted to quit. I just wanted to stop. But my mom, I knew that's not what she would have wanted. So even with my mom passing, that was my motivation to put out and work harder than I ever have in music, is to become something because my mom would want that. She pushed for it. So why give up? That was my motivation for it. Everybody had their own thing in life, really, at the time.
Yeah.
So goods and bads, but it created what it is now.
What kind of challenges did you run into while doing this recording?
Schedules and health. Yeah, I was just fighting a lot of health issues. And even being sick and still wanting to make music. So it definitely put a damper, It's just like a vocalist having the flu and trying to scream or to sing. It's not gonna be the greatest, but you're still gonna do it. It's just working through all that.
Is there a song that challenges you the most as musicians on this EP? One that challenges you more than the others?
Not specifically for me. There's ones that are slightly harder to play, I guess, from a music standpoint, but is it really technically challenging? No.
A little bit for me. Years Like Days Part 2. It's a very emotional song to me. It was definitely a completely different drumming style than I've done in the past. So just playing it, it's not difficult, but it's not what I'm used to. So I can fly through other songs, but coming to that song, that's one of those songs that when we start to play it, I have to focus while playing it because it's stuff I haven't done before.
With this new EP, did you guys introduce a new sound, maybe some different gear, or did you stick with your old school style?
It still all seems lost, but it's not Parkway Drive. It's still us, but it's a different sound. We're still that metalcore band that's all about being positive and the vibes, but this doesn't sound like the first album.
To get the reference that Geoff mentioned, you should definitely go check out the Oklahoma City Gazette because there's an article in there that will explain that reference.
And my brother, our guitar player Steve,
The
put
blessed
Parkway Drive on blast in it. And he straight up said, "We're not no Parkway Drive." Steve Hosteller says,
this.
"We ain't no Parkway Drive."
Oh God.
Yeah, it's gonna be us. It's us.
Right.
It's metalcore. It is what it is.
I know you obviously know all these guys that you're playing with, or at least know most of them.
Yes.
Have you played with all these bands before? And who are you looking forward to sharing the stage with the most?
Oh man, that's a hard one. All right,
it is
so
really.
two of the bands have not played with us before. One is a new band called Seven Deadly Sins. I know their drummer, Corey Webb. Dude's a phenomenal drummer. They don't have any music out, but they put live videos on Facebook and they sound like As They Lay Dying to me. And I grew up on As They Lay Dying, so him being a homie in the band, I wanted them to be on the show to get them out and, to play in the city, being from Tulsa. So them, and then there's another new band called Worst Friends that was existing members of other bands that formed this band. All really cool dudes. So I wanted to kind of get them out and be able to get them on stage. Crazy Love Hawk, we've known them for years. They've been around for a while. Sean Ladyman, he did our first and the new EP. So we wanted them to be on there to where we can give them their credit as well. And they're great dudes. Fragment Tranquility, those dudes slap, dude, so hard. Honestly, I wish they were the headliners because I like them that much and they have so much energy they bring. They're all phenomenal musicians. The bass player is actually our original bass player. So it kind of goes back in history to where we saw him with us to what he's doing now. The drummer, dude, they're all just great dudes. I went to high school with the new vocalist for them. So this is cool in general. And then, of course, we always go back with Understanding Eris. We've played sold out shows with them before. We're just like the two bands that mesh together, you know.
And they're phenomenal people. Like,
Craig, the vocalist Craig, he actually features in a song on the new EP, and he will be guest featuring on
that song on the show.
At the show. And we're gonna do it a different way this time around. Is, you know, we've been around, we love all these bands. It's not just random people. So what we're doing on this time is, for this show, we're gonna have a third mic. Eric's been doing backup vocals. And then we're going to have a third mic set on stage, and we're getting all these vocalists that have been in the music scene for a long time to come up on stage for every single song and do a feature.
Even some that haven't been in the scene for all that long.
Yeah, there's some newer people. Brandon, he's new to it. I mean, he's gotten on stage in the past, but we love the music scene as a whole. So, you know, it's not always about us. We wouldn't be there if it wasn't for other people. Bring all these people up on stage of showing the musical talent that is in Oklahoma, and to support one band releasing a new EP, get everybody that's involved on stage. You know, it's not just about us. So we want to bring other people up, and I think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
The features on the EP itself.
Craig
Just
Perry.
the one with Craig. Yeah.
Just Craig Perry.
Yeah.
And that's in Years Like These one.
Yeah. He's a monster.
Oh, I love Craig.
We recorded
He's a good
his
drummer, too.
vocals at like 2:00 in the morning, and this
I
dude,
swear to God, our neighbors hate us.
he
because
can
of this.
project. Craig can project like a mof, and we were like, "Oh yeah, it won't be that bad." And then we recorded at like 2 a.m, and it was just so loud.
I swear to God, my neighbors, our neighbors, like literally hated us at that moment in time. Like, I asked one of them, and he's like, "No, didn't hear a thing." And then, like, I'm pretty sure that's why our upstairs neighbors are so rude now.
Bottom line, when you hear Years Like Days 1 and Craig's part, just know the heaviness was definitely there while he recorded.
Oh my gosh, dude.
It's so good. I can't wait for everybody to hear that one.
Awesome, dude, yeah.
Are you gonna play the whole EP at the show, or are you just gonna play some
definitely.
songs?
We're playing for 45 minutes. We're gonna play 8 songs. 8.
Nine.
9.
9.
We're playing 9 songs, 10 including an intro.
Yeah.
We're gonna play most of the first album, and then we're gonna close it out with all of the EP.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a mix of both.
Yeah.
For 45 minutes.
I don't know if we know what we signed up for just yet, you know what I mean?
It's fun. Going through practice is fun. We've kind of tried to, we say 45 minutes. We're going to give ourselves that time because things happen on stage. I mean, definitely 35 to 40 minutes for sure with our breaks and, our giving the shout outs and our thanks to people. Just typical show, but we definitely have a lot of fun stuff planned for this show.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is like one that I want to push super hard. As an event, I put out sponsored ads throughout social media because I want, whether people know who we are or not, I want people to be there. I want to sell this show out because this is something like we've never done.
Yeah, I got my ticket today.
Heck yeah.
Do you have like a big closer pick?
Tribulation.
Yeah. The heaviest song
the
we
heaviest
have.
song that we have. It's one of those songs that as soon as it starts, a pit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Just run.
Just run
Run
in a circle.
I
Just
get
try to
so
run
back
forward, and the
forth.
rest will work itself out.
Try your best to run in a
And
circle.
that's what I'm saying. Like, we want to do like stuff that we've seen in the past. We just want all this to be in one night. So it's not like don't go out there and like hurt people. I mean, unless that's what people are into. But it's like 2 people put on some like boxing gloves and just get in the pit and punch each other. It's just all this stuff that we've seen as a band over the last 3-4 years that we've been doing this. That we just want to bring this one night together and do it all. Make it a show that we've never done. Things that have never happened. Everything in one about just the vibes.
Yeah.
To show that what our city and what our music scene has.
Yeah.
And then, of course, can't forget, after the show, everybody goes to Waffle House.
Yes.
Yeah, if you don't
We're gonna make
know
that
this
Waffle House
Waffle
hate
House,
us.
we love you, but we also hate you.
It's a must. It's a ritual for after shows. Whether you go to a show or you play the show, you go to Waffle House afterwards. Everybody's welcome.
Never
I've thought
had
about
one.
calling them and be like, hey, you're going to have to close your doors to everybody else because we're going to pack this place out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you continuing to work on more material after this, or are you going to take a break? Because
I never
EPs
stopped.
No, there's
EPs
no
are
stopping.
cool.
It never
There's no
stops.
stopping this.
I mean, the way we're looking at it, if you look at most bands, a lot of people are,
they're doing EPs now.
Yeah, they do either EPs or they release like multiple singles that eventually make an album.
That's what
or-
Perseus did.
The writing process, at least for myself and then our other guitarist Steve, it hasn't stopped. Even though we just finished up this album, we're getting ready to release it. The writing process hasn't ever stopped.
Yeah, even in the midst of us working on the set list for this show, we're still writing in between.
Yeah.
We'll run through our set list and then we write new stuff afterwards. Also, shout out to Lacey and Jeremy. They're some of the sweetest people I've ever
Oh
met.
my gosh, yes.
Obviously, it's getting released the night of the show. When is it going to be available on streaming platforms, though?
The
Same
day
night?
The day of.
Okay.
So, I mean, technically, people can download it that morning before the show and listen to it and be like, oh, no, we definitely aren't going now. Or they're going to be like, that's sick, we should totally go. Before the show, it'll definitely be available.
Okay.
It's available right now, pre-order. It's on iTunes, available for pre-order. It'll be Google Music, Spotify, Apple
Music.
iTunes, literally any streaming service. I believe even YouTube.
Okay. Do you have any more shows scheduled other than this EP release show?
We have some in the talks and possibly could be happening, but it's not an official, so
Yeah.
we're still waiting.
A big shout out to everybody who has came out and supported us over the years. Shout out to Sean for doing the mixing and mastering on our 2 albums the album that's out and then the album that's coming out.
And Skylar.
And Skylar, yeah, for doing the recordings.
We're recording the drums
Yeah.
and the first.
Craig for the feature, and
Yeah, I mean, just the typical, everybody that's ever supported us and has been there for us. Then the typical, I want to shout out, my mom. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. This whole show is dedicated to her in my eyes. So for the more people we can get to come out would show that, my mom would like that. And so that's kind of what I want for this show is that next chapter in life. My dad, always being there and supporting my brother, guitar player, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing either. And, as far as All Seems Lost, it wouldn't be the same without him. And then all the endorsements as well. Los Cabos, they're going to allow me to do a Instagram takeover the day of the show. So the entire day I'll be taking over their Instagram. So you can follow them at Los Cabos. Drumsticks, cell tone cymbals always being there. This is all the endorsements. So I'm really excited that, I get to play in great gear due to these companies. So I appreciate everything they do for me and what they've helped me become as a musician. Thanks for doing this interview.
yeah, definitely.
Shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.